Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to something completely unplanned, and I'm not too happy about it, to be quite frank. It's actually Tuesday, the 23rd of April, 2024, and this is my typical late-night stream where I would have something interesting for you, whether it be gameplay or a special event or something. Tonight, particularly, on deck, on schedule here, was something fresh and different and new, something that people had literally requested from me, built up in hype for me for many years. All right, tonight what I was supposed to do is I was supposed to check out something called Fightcade on PC. For those who don't know, Fightcade is a third-party, not branded to any particular company or anything, application that runs on PC. And what it does is it combines emulator suites, so different versions of gaming emulators, with the online capabilities of the GGPO rollback netcode to create a product that allows you to match up with people from all over the globe and play games for free on your PC over the internet, particularly one-on-one fighting games from yesteryear that aren't really readily available to play in any modern capacity at all. For the most part, what Fightcade was originally designed to do was posterity, meaning allow people to access games that can no longer be actively played in arcades because they don't exist anymore, or on home consoles because there's just no ports that really are viable to play. In this case, I'm talking about the era of CPS1, CPS2 games, the CPS3 games such as the Street Fighter 3 series, etc. Those games particularly are what Fightcade was really designed to emulate. Now, for them to understand, there's been other things that have been added over the years. But this is like the way that people in the fighting game community play against each other to play old school fighting games. Particularly for me, I was stoked because my favorite fighting game of all time is Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. There is currently no real active way to play that game on a console. The two versions that are readily available are the Street Fighter 38th Anniversary Collection, which is completely busted. There's no way to moderate and make it so that trolling doesn't happen, and people have found ways to break the game because it's just not a very good version. And the Capcom Fighting Collection, which actually doesn't run too poorly, but no one bought it. So because of that, there's no one playing this game in that collection. So really, if you own a console, you're boned. You can't play Super Turbo. Okay? Other games that I love, Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, versions of the Alpha series. Like, hell, I would play any of the three Alphas, although Alpha 2 is my favorite. I would play 1, 2, or 3. The Versus series of games. For example, X-Men versus Street Fighter or Marvel versus Capcom. I love those games. I was quite good at those games back in the day. I would be super happy to play those games with actual competition and people who know what they're doing and play them across the globe. That would be sweet. But here's the deal. Years and years and years, people have asked me to do this, to play Fightcade. I never really had, in the last decade, the capability of doing so because I capture, stream, and do everything on one PC. I don't have a dual PC setup where I can run a game on one PC and then have that feed go into the other PC for capture and streaming. It's all on one PC. Okay? So there was no way, excuse me, that I was going to be able to do Fightcade until I had some kind of a solution for this. All right? So now I do. Last year, a viewer donated a mini PC. And we played a few things on it. Like I played Chrono Trigger on PC. We actually tried out like Phasmophobia during a Christmas holiday and stuff like that. We've done a few little things on it. But the whole idea was that eventually we were going to play Fightcade on there. That was the big epic thing. And I said, let's just find the time to do it. And now's the perfect time. We actually have 3 freaking weeks until there's major new releases that I'm interested in. So I'm like, oh, this would be perfect for us to set it up, get it in a rotation, and be playing all these cool classic fighters and all this stuff. And that's what the purpose of tonight was supposed to be. Right now, we were supposed to set this up so that we could do it together and start playing, like pick games and stuff and start trying it out, right? So, no exaggeration. 10 years since I lived in Washington, I've been streaming classic fighting games on console and been told, oh, Ultra Street Fighter 2, that's the wrong way to do it. It's crap. Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection, you're doing it the wrong way. It's crap. Oh, Capcom Fighting Collection, oh, that's crap. You're dodging the competition. You're not playing the good players. This is all your fault. All you need to do is play Fightcade. Okay? So now, I have the capability to do it. And that was tonight. And then this morning on my Level 1 podcast in the morning, I'm discussing this with the crowd live, with the audience. You know, Good crowd this morning, by the way. And I want to say thank you to anyone who was there, because there were some good Samaritans. Let me tell you, there were some good Samaritans there this morning. Holy moly. And I do want to say one thing before we actually even go much further. I got the weirdest message during the break. I got an email from someone who was like, I'm so upset with you because you attacked me today on the podcast and you insulted me and I want an apology. And I was like, I'm reading the message, right? And I'm looking and I'm like, that literally didn't happen. Like, I think what happened was someone was being very stupid in the chat at one point about like being a jerk to me. And I responded to them, but I didn't say a name. And someone else must have misconstrued it as I was singling them out in the chat. The thing is, this person was not moderated. I did not call them out by name. Somehow they 100% misunderstood who I was talking to. So I'm just going to say this to anyone who attends my content or my streams. This is something that I should air out. Basically, if you think that I'm directly addressing you, you should probably ask me and make sure that I am. But the truth is that usually if I am addressing someone directly, like a person directly in the chat, I will tell you, like, you're messing around, you know, don't do that, or I will call you out. I will moderate. I'm not, in general, just attacking people for no reason in my chat. They're always doing something stupid that allows me to then have to basically do something about it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like, someone completely misunderstood or misconstrued what happened and took it as a personal insult. I mean, obviously, I apologize to whoever that person is if they actually thought I was insulting them. I wasn't talking to them at all. In fact, I don't even know what they said in chat because I was talking totally to somebody else. So, but be careful. You got to be careful about this, guys. Here's why. I'm one person. You are many, right? Right now, we have a chat of hundreds of people. I do my best to talk with you and have conversation or whatever, but I can't basically be perfect all the time and be clear exactly who I'm addressing. Right now, I'm talking to everyone generally, right? Don't take it to heart. If I say something on stream and you get upset, did he say that to me? Did I? Well, if I did, I would have said your name and I would have moderated you if I felt that you broke the chat rules. If I didn't do that, then I wasn't talking to you, right? So I actually feel like that some people, they take it the wrong way or whatever. I'm not, like, literally, this person, I apologize to them if they took it that way, but that was not the intention. I wasn't insulting this person whatsoever. I wasn't even responding to them talking in the chat. I don't even know what they said. So there you have it. Anyway, I just want to get that out of the way. Please be careful. Don't always take what I say as like I'm directly talking to you, especially if all of a sudden I'm responding to something in the chat. It doesn't mean I'm responding directly to you unless I call you out. Then you know I'm talking to you, okay? I do feel it's kind of unfair. Like I said, I'm one, you are many. If everyone takes every word I ever say as I'm talking directly to you, I guess we're going to have some problems, right? Fair enough? Okay. Now, getting back on subject. As we're doing the podcast this morning, the Level 1 podcast, a few good Samaritans actually came to the stream and said, hey, just so you know, it sounds like no one has ever told you this before, but when you play Fightcade, your IP address gets exposed. Now, it took us about half an hour to hash this out, but by the end of a half an hour segment on the podcast, we kind of figured out exactly how it all works. And so here's how Fightcade actually works. There's a chat room. No, your information does not get exposed in the chat room, okay? There's like a client where you search for people, and all you see in the client where you search for people is a geolocation. So you'll see, oh, okay, this person's located in the USA. This person's located in the UK. This person is in, you know, Mexico or whatever, right? So you at least know what country they're in. But you don't see their IP address. However, so what I'm understanding, Fightcade is a free program, all right? It's totally free. There is no paid version that's better, that has features. It's just something that everyone uses in the FGC for posterity to keep classic fighting games alive, which is to be well respected and regarded. Thank you to the people who make Fightcade for doing that. That's very nice of you to keep fighting games alive that normally wouldn't have any player base because there's no way to play them, all right? It would be nice if we had perfect versions of these games on console. We do not, correct? Anyway, apparently it's peer-to-peer. What that means is there's no central server that you connect to. Instead, it's you are directly connecting to someone else. And even though you can't actively see it yourself, yes, your IP address gets exposed when you connect to someone. Now you might say, well, why is this not a big deal for anyone? Well, because normally people don't have endless armies of complete mentally challenged weirdos on the internet chasing them around trying to ruin their business and their life, but I do. Okay? It's sad. It's just a crazy hate mob of weird people that follow me around to try to do this stuff, but it's just present. So what happens is apparently you need to have third-party things going. So for example, it wouldn't be in Fightcade, but they could do something like use an IP sniffer, which is a third-party program you can get, and it can interact with Fightcade, and it can find out the IP address of the person that you've matched against to play. So it might not happen immediately, but within, you know, a session or two, there's definitely a chance that one of these trolls, okay, that they will do this, right? One of these trolls will eventually match with me, get my IP address, and there you go. In fact, Bonos Temo says, if you do a Google search for Fightcade security issues, the 6th result is an X post explaining everything about it. It is definitive on this issue. There's just a no-go here. So unless the makers of Fightcade work with some other method to hide someone's IP address in the app itself, which I don't think they're going to do. It's a free app, right? They're not, maybe if they were receiving payment for this app, they could develop something that makes it foolproof, much like when you're playing these games over a console through a GUI or its own matchmaking system where you have no access to the back-end data. But apparently you can do that just easily, just using an IP sniffer program. You can get the IP right out of Fightcade. You can get someone's IP. So why isn't it a big deal for anyone else? Because no one else gets harassed like me. Everyone else just plays casually for themselves. Even a casual fighting game streamer, you know, you get a few hundred people on your stream or whatever, no one's going to dox you. But because I'm Darkside Phil, and people hate me for literally no good reason, they're just nuts, they will dox me. They will basically get my IP address, put it on the internet, and probably get a bunch of people to DDoS attack me. Great, right? Now, before we get ahead of ourselves, because all day people have been saying, use a VPN, 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 use a VPN. We already addressed it on the podcast, but I'll readdress it now. Okay? There are services out there, VPNs, that essentially spoof your location so that you look like you're somewhere else, so no one can actually find out your true IP address. Okay? So, for example, I could get one of these. I know there's a bunch of them. There's NordVPN, ExpressVPN. There's like a ton of them that are commercially used. And you pay a subscription fee a month. And basically, when you go to do anything, before you actually get to the destination you want to go. So let's say, for example, I was going to stream on YouTube, but I wanted to protect my IP. Instead of connecting directly to YouTube and then streaming to YouTube, I would connect through this VPN first, then to YouTube. And YouTube would actually think that my broadcasting location was another country or another place. And apparently they have things all over the place. Like some of them are international. Some of them have several things in the United States. But the one big problem with VPNs, okay, is very, very simple. They add lag because you're not broadcasting from where you are. You're going from somewhere else. So, for example, if I were to use a VPN to change my IP address, all right, so that I could play Fightcade and protect my IP, number one, it's going to add input lag to the game. In which case, why bother playing online if you're adding delay to make it lag? The other person won't have the lag, I will. Right? I'll have additional, and it's already rollback netcode. It's already rollback netcode where things are going to be going all over the place, teleporting. Now imagine that added with a VPN that's adding lag, correct? And as much as people want to be really optimistic about this and say, well, you can get a VPN that maybe will broadcast out of Seattle or whatever. Absolutely ridiculous. It's going to add lag enough that it's going to make it not viable. It's going to make it as laggy as it was on the console versions anyway. So there's no point. I could just play the console version, which is also broken and laggy, and there's no point. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's just dumb. Why would I do that? Why would I pay to get a VPN only to play on Fightcade for the few times that I will do this a month? You know, Fightcade probably be something I would do like once a week. You know, 4 times a month. I'm going to do a specific subscription just to get a VPN, just to change my IP address, just to stream that one particular app 4 times a month and add lag and make myself miserable, right? It's insane. You know what I'm saying? And by the way, I don't even have confidence. I don't have confidence that this would even work without the VPN. What I mean by that is this is rollback netcode. I don't like rollback netcode. I think rollback netcode hides lag from the viewer. If you're watching, it doesn't look laggy. But half the time when I'm playing a game like Street Fighter 6, my inputs are delaying and dropping. When I do them, it's not good. It's already frustrating. Now I'm going to add even additional delay to that situation using a VPN, right? And then on top of that, there's no guarantee this thing's even going to be that fun or work. Because, you know, it's one thing when it's just a free thing, you mess around with a big deal. It's another thing when you're paying a subscription service just to use the stupid thing. And then it ends up being a flop or what people aren't on to play. It's just not worth it. There's no guarantees that a VPN would do anything to help. Okay? So, basically, it's shot. It's kaput. It's off the table, and there's nothing that I can do about it. I'm sorry. I wanted to play Fightcade for you guys. For years, people came. I want to say you guys, but I don't want to say it was all of you, because who knows actually who it was. But I remember particularly as I played games like Ultra Street Fighter 2 on the Switch, or the Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection, you know, on my Xbox or PlayStation, people would say, man, you're just stupid. Everyone who's anyone is playing Fightcade, and you're dumb because you're purposefully dodging the competition. That's what they would say. DSP is purposefully dodging the competition by playing on console, because there's this, it's like a small pool of people who aren't good, right? If he played on PC, he'd be playing the cream of the crop, the better players, and he would be spanking, or he'd be getting spanked by everyone. Now, I'm not disputing that. The people who play on PC on Fightcade probably play all the time. Unlike me, who I'm rusty and I play these occasionally, these are probably people who've been actively playing these games for ages and ages and ages. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like, people would always come by and say, Phil, why are you not playing the real comp? Why are you not? And so all these years I'm thinking, you know, maybe when I finally get the capability of doing this, I want to play Fightcade. And now I have it. And I advertise it. And we talked about this for months. We talked about ever since I got the mini PC that I would do it. We said I was going to do it in December. Then it got delayed. Then we said January. Then it got delayed again. So there's all these opportunities for you to find out about this. It wasn't until the morning that I was going to do the Fightcade setup tonight that I was told that this happens. It was the morning of, during a 10-year span, that everyone crapped on me saying I was a coward dodging the competition. The truth of the matter is I never would have been able to do it because it exposes my IP. And it was all a lie. And thankfully, it was people like Bono's Tecmo and a few others. It was him and like 2 or 3 other people who were all finding the information and putting it in the chat this morning. I basically once again have dodged a huge bullet. Ladies and gentlemen, 2024 is officially the year of me dodging 1 million huge bullets. So far, it's like the fucking Matrix, and I'm just doing Matrix dodging like Keanu Reeves right now. All these bullets are passing me by because there were so many opportunities for bad things to happen, and somehow I'm dodging them. I mean, this is good, obviously, but it definitely is frustrating that so many things, you know, are kind of not working out in a positive way. I wish they did, you know. In this case, I don't like the fact that I can't play classic fighting games. I want to. This sucks that I can't, that I don't have an access to it, but others can, right? Because others don't have an army, a legion of fucking trolls after them. It's kind of like, it's very similar to the situation where people are saying, what about all these gifted memberships that you keep getting from trolls that you're saying, you know, they're not real? Well, they are real, but they're basically discounted because they're using an exploit. They're using a VPN to pretend like they're in another country where the pricing is incorrect on memberships, and then they're mass buying them for a few pennies. And so it ruins the whole membership system. It breaks it. And people are like, so why is that affecting you and not others? Because I'm Darkside Phil, and I'm the one who's stalked by literally thousands of mentally ill people who think that that's okay to do. It's okay to exploit a system as long as it hurts Phil. It's okay to skirt the rules as long as it hurts Phil. It's okay to literally break the law, which has happened to me many times over the years. People breaking the law just to hurt Phil. That's sick. There's other fighting game streamers out there literally right fucking now who are playing on Fightcade. And there are no trolls going in using IP sniffers to find their IP address, post it up on the internet on Kiwi farms, and have everyone DDoS attack them. That's not happening. People even said it earlier. Avoid the Puddle is a prominent fighting game streamer who gets to play Fightcade all the time. And he does never had this issue whatsoever. Not once has this happened to him. He could just play it with no issue. Why? Because he doesn't have an army of weirdo, loser, mentally ill people following him around. So he can have a normal life. I can't. I'm not free to have a normal life because of this. And then people idiotically say things in the chat like earlier, oh, victim complex. It's not a fucking complex, you idiot. It's documented factual shit that's happening. I'm not making it up. You say victim complex if you're actively trying to make yourself a victim for sympathy. I don't want anyone's sympathy. I just want to do the normal shit everyone else can fucking do, and I'm not allowed to. This is not a victim complex. It's my fucking reality that every place I turn, I get harassed by weirdos and losers and people who should be mentally examined for help. Because if they think this is a use of something normal in their life, they're out of their minds. They are infatuated with me and my family, and they're actively trying to harass us at every turn. So, it's this simple. I'm not allowed to do the things everyone else does. Just like back when I was on Twitch, I was not allowed to have a sponsored stream because my trolls would harass whoever the sponsor was, and the sponsor would demand from Twitch that I no longer get these sponsored opportunities because they don't want to be harassed by trolls. So then they kicked me out of the program and never told me. They literally lied to me about it. Outright lied and said, oh, it was a coding error. They weren't man enough to say, oh, we're kicking you out of the program unfairly because of your trolls. They lied about it and said it was a coding error that I couldn't see the page. Yes, that's what they told me. Okay? So it's just one of many, many things. It's why I can't have a merch page. Because if I have a merch page, my trolls go to the vendor and complain that I'm a bigot and a racist and a sexist and the king of hate and I'm a horrible person and you don't want to do business with them. So then they kick me out because they're getting harassed. You see? Not that any of this is true, but they don't care. They just don't want the hassle. So this is why I can't get the same things as everybody else. This is why when people say, well, why don't you just take on sponsors? Because I can't take on a sponsor. Even if I did, it wouldn't last because of this. Do you understand? I have to basically make a living just off of streaming. That's it. I can't get income from anywhere else because of these idiots. That's not a victim complex. That's actual reality for me because these idiots won't leave me alone. What they don't realize is all the things they don't like. So, for example, they don't like it when I go on a stream and I talk about this. They don't like it if I'm on a stream and I say, hey guys, will you contribute to support my stream tonight? Oh, he's an e-beggar. Oh, he's a victim. But I have to do that because you fucked my life up. You understand that? If you would fucking stop, if you wouldn't dox me, I could be playing Fightcade right now like everyone else who uses it. If you wouldn't fuck up sponsors, I would have had sponsors years ago and I wouldn't have been in the financial situations that I got into. You created the problem with the level of harassment you did against me, and then you complained about the consequences of the problem. Your consequences created actions for me that I couldn't avoid, and now I'm living with those repercussions of your actions, and I'm just trying to make a living, but you're not happy with that. But you created the situation. You're fucking stupid. You're the dumbest people on earth. Do you get it? You're literally the dumbest people. You created a situation you don't like. I wasn't ever having to do shit like this back in the day. When I was 10 years ago before This Is How You Don't Play, I just did whatever. I played games, I uploaded videos, I went on trips, I did everything. I had no issues with my income. So because of that, I was able to do whatever the hell I wanted. I was free. I wasn't sitting there begging people for contributions. I wasn't saying, oh, we got to have a Patreon and we got to have a PayPal and we got to have this. It was literally just, here's my videos, watch them, ad revenue. Thanks so much. Done. And I gave shit away constantly, like giveaways every fall, all this shit behind the scenes. Hell, I used to be able to afford to give money to charity, and I did many times behind the scenes back when I actually made money to do it. But I can't anymore because people fucked with my life so much. So you created the monster. You created the situation. And now you want to hold me accountable for it when you did it. Fuck you. Fuck every one of you. Every one of you out there who acts like this and does this horrible things to me and my family. That's why I can't play Fightcade. That's why I can't do the normal things other streamers do. It's you. You're the problem. If you don't exist right now, if you were finger snapped out of existence, things would be better. Think about that. That all you do is you sit around, you hurt people all day long, and people would probably be happier if you would just change your behavior immediately. But you won't, because you've been doing this to me for over a decade. Right? It's just insane how they act, these fucking people. So anyway, that's what's going on. That's why I'm trying to express how openly disappointed I am right now with the fact that I can't play retro fighting games. I was stoked and pumped for this. You guys built this up for years that it was going to be something great. And now I can't do it. You know? And now, I mean, to be particularly honest, it just sours me from wanting to do something. Like right now, what should we do tonight? I don't fucking know. I'm not even in a mood to fucking do anything. I'm not. I'm pissed that I'm not allowed to have the things that anyone else who turns on their PC to stream can do. I'm really ripping pissed. And I don't think that I should now have to fucking come up with some bullshit, extravagant fallback plan because of the actions of a bunch of shitbags out there who have no fucking lives. So I don't think I'm going to do anything. I think we're just going to hang out. I'm going to talk with you guys. I have some things I'm going to shout out. Thank you, because a couple people have already contributed. And I want to shout these out, okay? And I want to hang out. And I just kind of want, at this point, I just kind of want to unwind because I'm just upset. Like, I don't even think I'm in a mood to say, oh, let's just do an impromptu stream of another game. I don't think I would even be fair to the game because I'm actually in a bad mood. And I don't think that that's fair to the game to play a game and be all pissy at the fucking game and just be upset, Mr. fucking Sourpuss. I feel like we definitely should be able to at least, you know, talk a little bit, hang out a bit, and have some good time without having to worry about that shit. You know what I mean? I'm already upset to that point, right? So notably, let's get to some shout-outs. I want to say, Danny the DK, thanks for 7 months as a member. There was a $2 tip here that came in earlier, actually before I had even turned on my stream, saying, I gotta at some point check out Dave the Diver. I've heard things about this game. Some people say it's a meme game, and the reason people want me to play it is because they claim that the main character looks like me. I don't know anything about that. I've literally never seen the game before, nor do I know what kind of a game it is. I just heard it's an indie game. I guess it's one of those ongoing survival games or something, I think, but I'm not sure. I don't know if it would be entertaining for my audience ever, but it's definitely something that I might check out eventually because some people have mentioned it. So there you go. And I received a $20 tip from Dan the Man. Thank you, Dan the Man, for a very generous $20 tip tonight to start off as well. And by the way, I just realized something. Guess what, guys? You're about to see a new animation. This animation has not been played on the stream before because I have new animations now for $10, $20, $30, and $50 levels of tips. This is the first time I'm playing this new $20 animation. Are you ready? Thank you, Dan the Man. Here we go. That's one of the best animations ever made. That's hard to top, but I'll tell you right now, for a $50 animation, there's a pretty good one too. What just happened? Oh. Like, that's not right. That's a good one. Raul Julia, rest in peace. The late, great Raul Julia in his last role. But, the $50 one is really good, too. Let me put it this way. The $50 one is the most over-the-top, ridiculous, funny, embarrassing one that I've probably ever had. It's worse than the $30. The $30 one, to give you perspective, the $30 one, I'm dressed up as Chun-Li. Okay? The $50 one is worse. But it's funny as shit. We will see it eventually, I'm sure. Probably not tonight, but we will see them all eventually. So thank you, Dan the Man, for that. I appreciate that. Okay. So that's what we got going right now. If any other contributions come in, I will shout them out. And thank you in advance. All right? Now, I will say one thing, because A. Schraub said, you know, when you talk about your detractors and your trolls, it just gives them the attention, and then they listen, they're going to do it anyway. It doesn't matter what I say or do. They do it anyway. They invent shit up that doesn't happen on my stream and title their videos that, and then creatively edit to make it look like it happened when it didn't. They do whatever they want. It doesn't matter what I say or do. I'm not a fucking pussy coward who thinks that, oh, I better not say anything because God forbid my trolls might attack me. They do it anyway, so I don't give a fuck about what they do. Do you think I give two flaming turds what the fuck they say about me? They can eat my shit out of my ass with a spoon. There you go. I don't give a fuck. I'll say what I want, and I'll talk about what I want. And in this case, I needed to talk about it because it's unfortunate because a lot of people were looking forward to Fightcade, including me, and I can't do it now, and it's their fucking fault, so they can eat shit. Antonio, there's absolutely no reason to play arcade mode on Fightcade. If you're not aware, arcade mode in Street Fighter games particularly is awful. It's either way too easy or way too hard. It's not fun in any way, and it doesn't represent real gameplay because the computer will cheat at higher difficulties. They don't even have to charge to do charge moves. They will instantly react to your moves. It's just a waste of time. So the only time that I would consider doing that is if, for example, we were doing a marathon of fighting games and I wanted to have a segment of it be a big challenge, like do the highest level difficulty of every arcade game and try to do a run with different characters or something just for fun, then I would consider it. But outside of that, nah, it's just not worth it. It's not going to even be like a fun stream. It's not. The single player modes of those are not great. So. Oh, man. All right. Well, I feel like now we're over a half an hour into this stream. And I feel like I have gotten all the crap off of my chest that I had on my chest. It's disgusting to have crap on your chest. Let me tell you. You got to clean it. It smells terrible. All right. But anyway. It's off my chest now. And, and so let's now chill, shall we? And just see what you guys want to talk about tonight. Like I said, at this point, I was seriously considering doing something tonight, like gameplay, but I'm just so upset that I don't think that it makes any fucking sense to do it. I'd just be pissy, and it would definitely affect the gameplay in a negative way, and I don't want to do that. That's not fair. That's not fair to the game. That's not fair to the audience. It's not fair to me. It's not fair to anyone. It's just going to be shitty content. So I'd rather just kind of chill, even if it means that we just shoot the shit for an hour or two and nothing else happens and nothing, you know, I'd just rather do that. Okay? So let's see what you guys have to talk about. Let's see. Rolor says, is Shadow of the Erdtree the most hyped DLC for any game ever? I'm not the judge of that. It's definitely the most hyped DLC of any game recently. You know, being that it's the first DLC for Elden Ring. Maybe it'll be the only DLC for Elden Ring. Did you ever think of that? Because it's been 2 years since Elden Ring came out. And typically, with previous outings that FromSoft has made, the DLCs have usually come out within about a year. Even Dark Souls 3, Dark Souls 2 I'm thinking about. Even, Bloodborne. Its DLC came out later that year, right? So this is the first one ever that took 2 whole years. And it may be the only one. So being that, you know, Elden Ring is such a highly regarded game, and this might be the only DLC for it, yeah, it very well could end up being one of the most hyped DLCs of all time. I could definitely see it going down in history in that stature. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it definitively will be the best quality-wise. I hope it is, because I would love a great Elden Ring DLC, but, you know, I think hype-wise it might be. Get myself a drink? No, I'm not going to drink right now. No. I told you guys, there's times when I drink on stream, but it's usually just for special events, stuff like that. I would not be just drinking on a stream willy-nilly for no reason. And one thing, very important, when you are upset about something, never drink. I'm going to give everyone some really good advice. If you're stressed and you want stress relief, by all means drink. But if you're actually legitimately angry about something, do not drink. That's my advice to you, because I've found that sometimes drinking will alleviate that, but sometimes it can actually accentuate the anger, and then you start lashing out and doing things that are not good. So as a 42-year-old adult who has drank a lot in his life, I'll just give you a word of warning to the younger people out there. Please do not drink when you're angry. It could turn out bad for you and the people around you unintentionally. Even if you don't, you know, you're not intending to lash out at others, remember, when you drink, your inhibitions go away. And so you might actually be nasty to someone you don't intend to be nasty to, and that's not fair to them, right? And to yourself, because then when you sober up, you might be pretty upset that you were nasty to someone for no good reason. And now you got to live with the repercussions of your bad actions, right? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I've received an incredibly generous $50 tip tonight from Dan the Man. 50 bucks. Dan the Man is out of control tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for the $50 animation? I don't know if you are. I'll be honest, I don't know if you're ready for this one. This has got to be the best one. When I saw it, I cracked the hell up laughing. All right. Are you ready? All right, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the new $50 tip animation on DSPGaming. I love it. I love it. If you're wondering what all these are from, so the Chun-Li one and this one, those two animations, that's the $30 to $50 animation, they're from a movie that Jackie Chan was in. And I forget what the name of the movie was. I've totally forgotten. But he basically, this was when Street Fighter was getting prominent, and so they made this kung fu movie where he dressed City Hunter. Is that what it's called? City Hunter. There you go, City Hunter. He dresses up like all of them, cosplays as them, as like 3 or 4. Doesn't he also cosplay as Dalsim too? There's a Dalsim in there too somewhere. So it's funny as shit, and of course to have me as that is equally stupid. So very nice. Thank you, Dan the Man, for the support tonight. That is so nice of you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to forego the Gunner glasses tonight. Here's why. Whenever I wear them and we're doing a podcast or a show like this, they glare badly at the camera. And it bothers me to know that you guys are staring at this fucking ring light in your face. So I'm not going to wear the Gunner glasses tonight. All right? Is that okay? It'd be one thing if I was playing a game. It makes sense because I'm looking over here and I'm playing the game and it helps with the game. It adds nothing here whatsoever to the stream for me to do that. So what's the $100 animation? No, I don't think I have a new one. I think the $100 animation is the old one where it just says $100 and I go, whoa, whoa. You want to check? I don't think I updated the $100 animation. I think it's the old one. So this is not legit. We're just testing it. I haven't seen it in ages. Oh, no, it's the dance. I changed it to the dance. Oh, there you go. I changed it to me dancing. So that's the new $100 animation, which is really not new. It's just the old one of me dancing. So there you go. I forgot that I updated that. Okay. I also received a $1 tip from Michigan Man. I'm sorry that Fightcade isn't working out for you tonight. Since you're not dipping into old school games, do you remember the first time an arcade game blew your mind away? For me, it was Time Traveler. I thought that's what the future of gaming would look like. I don't remember Time Traveler. Sounds familiar. Was it a full motion video game in the arcade? It might have been. But for me, the first arcade game I ever saw was Wonder Boy. And this was at my local corner store where my dad and I every Sunday morning would walk to get newspaper and like some things like maybe milk or something like that. And they had Wonder Boy. And so my dad just happened to have a quarter. I put it in. It was a side scroller where you throw objects at like enemies and stuff. It was a side scrolling platformer. That was an arcade game. It was really good. And, you know, I liked it. I wasn't like, oh my God, amazed, but I thought it was cool because it definitely looked better than like video games at home at the time. The only ones I'd seen was the ones my uncle had at his house. The first arcade game that blew me away, like completely blew me away, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles arcade game, because it looked like the cartoons. And at that point, video games at home looked like blips and bloops on the screen, like the Atari and stuff like that. To actually see a video game that literally the turtles looked like their cartoon counterparts, had voices that sounded similar to the cartoon, had the actual enemies from the cartoon in it, that was super duper neat. Super duper neat. And I was like, wow, this is the future of gaming. And then, of course, arcades for the longest time, from like the early or late 80s all the way through the early 2000s, arcades always had games that were better graphics and better performance and controls than at home. It wasn't until the era of, say, Dreamcast, PS2, that now home consoles were matching what was in the arcades. So it was a good decade that I loved going to arcades to see what the hottest, latest new games were. And I played them all. I played the shooters, the driving games, the fighting games, you know, beat 'em ups, sports games like NBA Jam and NFL Blitz. Dude, every puzzle games like Magical Drop and Bust a Move. I played them all. I was an arcade aficionado in the 90s. Just, I guarantee you, we could have an awesome stream just talking about arcade games from the 90s. I have all that information in my brain from being there for a decade. I loved all those games. I could talk about them for a long time. Super coolest time to be alive as a kid. That's for sure. Let's see here. Easy Steve did a super chat. Did you check out Metaphor Refantasio? I know. Did the trailer come out today? I think it did. I didn't see it yet. People who have seen it. Oh, by the way, another new animation. This is the new animation for super chats, guys. Just so you know. Super chats under $5. Get that Zangief animation. I think the trailer came out today, and I'm gonna check it out because it's the makers of Persona. Only it's set in like a medieval time instead. Sounds pretty good to me. So I think that I want to check it out, and I'll have to check out that trailer. I've not seen it yet. Haseo, right now, I'm not in the mood to check out Game Pass or PS Plus. We'll see how the night goes. We'll see how the night goes. And, I just want to kind of hang out with you guys for now. But if the night goes well or we get bored, we can maybe go over there. By the way, someone said I look like Max Payne from Max Payne 3. Kind of. I actually agree. I was thinking about that. I was like, who do I look like? I look like Ace Ventura. Because Ace Ventura also had the white shirt with the kind of Hawaiian shirt over it. And you're absolutely right. I look like Max Payne from Max Payne 3. Only I'm not completely bald. Did I ever think about collecting arcade machines? When I was younger, yes, because I actually had a friend or two who owned arcade machines and had them in their homes. And we would go over to this guy's house and actually play games like, Super Turbo, X-Men vs. Street Fighter and stuff on his cabinet, which was really cool. And I always thought, I want a cabinet at home. And then when I got my place in 2009, yes, it was when I got my own place, my own condo in Connecticut in 2009. I thought, oh man, this will be cool. This will be the time when I can actually get my own arcade machine or whatever. But what ended up happening was, as you know, I became a more prominent YouTuber at that time, and I focused mostly on just console stuff. So even though I thought it would be cool to get an arcade machine, I didn't do it at the time. I focused on just doing my YouTube stuff, but I was always thinking about getting one. And then, at the time, my friend Howard had one. And basically, he had a whole room in his house dedicated to it. And, I went over there to play Super Turbo with him and a bunch of other people several times, recorded, documented. Then he started live streaming it and stuff like that. And it was fun. But you know what? I think, honestly, it was that time when I actually realized I would not want it. Reason being, to actually see how much room it takes up in your home, right? Like, man, that's pretty big. It takes up like half a room. And my place is small. Like, my place is smaller than his. So, I'm like, I really don't think I'm going to want a big arcade cabinet. And now, I'm so happy I didn't get it. Because can you imagine if I got that arcade cabinet and then I moved across the country, the cost to fucking ship that thing? And even then, I don't even know where I would put it in this house. Like, the garage. I don't even have a place for it. So, yeah, I'm genuinely glad that I never got it. Oh, let's see here. Oh, let's see. Will I check out the remake of Max Payne when it comes out? Yes, because this isn't supposed to be Max Payne 1 and 2, so yes, I will probably check that out. Let's see here. Oh, my arms don't glitch using the keyboard. That's true. If my arms start delocating, snapping around in weird positions, and contorting, please warn me. Let me know. I should emulate arcade games because I like them a lot. Make a night for arcade games in the past. I've done that many times in the past, a long time ago. I actually did. I used to have a friend who would come over, and once a week we would do co-op stuff. And we did that a few times. We did, like, emulated games of the past. I remember we did games like Alien vs. Predator and beat-em-ups like Final Fight and stuff like that. We did those together back in the day. But, I don't think anyone would be too interested in me playing them single player. Like, for example, when the Genesis Mini came out, I did play Streets of Rage 2, like, once. And people thought it was all right, and they literally never asked for me to continue. I never even beat it. So, okay. Yeah, I don't know why when Coops typed, all his words are capitalized. I don't know why. That's a little weird. I am checking out the Fallout 4 patch. I've already made it clear. This weekend, 2 new games. Friday, we're starting Another Crab's Treasure, which is the Souls-like game starring a hermit crab. Really weird premise, but it may be good. And then we're actually going to start the playthrough of Fallout 4 on Saturday. Although, now I'm on the fence, because here's the thing. I don't know. I have nothing to do tomorrow. Like, tomorrow was supposed to be me either doing Elden Ring or Helldivers 2 on the day stream, and then the night stream was going to be Classic Fighters, and now I don't have that anymore. So I don't know what to do tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow night I should do a 2-hour intro to Fallout 2 stream where we just do the character creation and the intro and get past the intro. So then when I play it again on Saturday, then with the patch, we'll get into the meat of the game and we don't have to do the intro stuff. We could do that tomorrow night if you guys want. It's up to you. You know, I'm really right now, I am totally unsure what we're even doing tomorrow. What do you guys think we should do tomorrow? Because it was either going to be Elden Ring or Helldivers on the first stream, and then I don't even know what I'm doing on the late stream, right? K Styles, thank you so much. 35 months as an Ultra member. I really appreciate the support. Thank you so much. The Blim says, yeah, maybe we can get the character creation done. You know, that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking, is maybe just have this intro stream. Intro to Fallout 4. Get the intro segment done where you make your character, the initial vault segment, get that out of the way, because that takes over an hour to get through that initial segment, and then go out. And remember, the first thing you do is you go out to the town, and they make you start doing the initial town building stuff. So get that done. So that way when I actually play on Saturday, we can get into some of the meat of the game rather than doing all the intro stuff, right? That's what I'm thinking. I don't have a guidebook for Fallout 4 anymore, Haseo, or if I do, it's buried somewhere in my closet. I'm not going to use a guide for it. I feel like a guide is needed when you're playing by yourself. I'm going to be with you guys. Like, you guys totally 100% are going to be there along for the way this time. The last playthrough was when it was a new game in 2015, and I wasn't doing interactive streams whatsoever, okay? So, yeah, I will definitely, dirty, oh, I gotta clean that. I will definitely, be playing with you guys, and I'm sure you guys are going to tell me about the stuff that I'm missing or whatever, you know? Ellipsian's a suggestion for tonight. Maybe we can watch the Alan Wake 2 New Game Plus ending together. It's worth it. I mean, we could, but that's more of React content, which I wasn't intending to do tonight. And if we do that, you know the video's going to get claimed or something. You know what I mean? I've received a $2 tip from Goji Tanks, but it's spelled wrong. I love your Q&A streams. Honest question. Would you say I have a Connecticut accent? I notice people in the chat joke about how you pronounce Costco as Castco. I say Costco. Always cost. Costco, not Castco. And moron as Maron. When do I say Maron? It's moron. What? I would say maybe there are some words that I pronounce a little different, but I don't think Costco or moron is I say wrong. Whatever, I don't care. I don't give a shit. What do I give a fuck for? Thanks for the $2 tip. Whatever you say. Alrighty. I don't know. I guess I was supposed to be concerned about that or something. Right? I do pronounce it golf. I've always said it golf. That's how I pronounce it, the sport of golf. I guess some people say that's weird pronunciation. I've literally always said that. Yeah. What's up, Jade? Good evening. How you doing? No, we're not doing Fallout 4 tonight. If we do it, it'll be tomorrow night. Which I'd be okay with. If you want to do it tomorrow night, it'll suck because the patch isn't going to be applied yet. It's going to be vanilla Fallout 4 tomorrow night. And then whatever this update patch that applies on Thursday will be in effect when we play it again on Saturday. If that's what you guys so choose, I'm okay with that. I have no enemies, who used to be No Sleep Real Vibes, says, I hope to get to 30 months and be an ultra supporter on your channel. Awesome. Thank you so much. I have no enemies. Well, Jade, I've certainly been better since we can't do old school fighting games with Fightcade, as I explained on the podcast earlier today and again tonight. But I'm happy to have an audience that likes to hang out with me and just shoot the shit and you know, fill some time and chat, which I feel like doing to calm me down for being angry about the Fightcade thing. So that's what we're doing tonight. Oh, Coop, I saw your message. Yes. Excuse me. Tonight for dinner, we were originally going to have soup and salad, and it was going to be tomato basil soup and a chicken Caesar salad together. But I was so hot from being in this office. Today it was 75 to 80 degrees outside. It was almost 90 degrees in this office, and I was trying to play Elden Ring and game stuff. I was soaked in sweat when I left. So I walked, I was like, there's no way I could eat a hot bowl of soup. So we made an extra huge batch of salad, and my wife and I each had like 2 bowls of chicken Caesar salad. It was super good. It was mixed greens, like spring greens, and just like a slightly seasoned crouton, chunks of grilled seasoned chicken breast, and just some classic creamy Caesar dressing from Ken's Steakhouse. It was a really good, delicious salad dinner. What's up, Gabriel? How are you tonight? I prefer Fallout over Elder Scrolls. Well, to be clear, I played Fallout for my YouTube channel first, but I actually had played Elder Scrolls before Fallout, before I was a YouTuber. I played Oblivion on an Xbox 360 that red ringed on me, and I could never finish it. I was really liking Oblivion when it red ringed on me, and then I never got back around to playing it. Then when Fallout became very popular around the time when I was just starting up being a YouTuber, then I kind of got hooked on Fallout 3, and then New Vegas really grew on me as great games that I liked, not only playing the main playthroughs, but then going back to doing the side content I missed, then going back again for the DLCs. It was like you keep going back to the well for really good, delicious content in Fallout, right? So then, convinced with how good Fallout had been, when Skyrim came out, I then went and played Skyrim, and that was also really cool. So in reality, I would probably say, if I really had to choose, man, Fallout or man, Elder Scrolls, it's like Fallout 3 and New Vegas are super duper great games. Fallout 4 is okay, right? Fallout 76 is dog shit. That's the Fallouts I played. Morrowind is okay, but kind of boring, and I never got past like 20 hours. I got bored. Oblivion is good. It's really good, and I played a full playthrough of it, plus it's DLC, correct? Skyrim, I mean, come on. Everyone loves Skyrim. So it's kind of like, it's a tough decision. How about this? How about I just tell you, my favorites are Fallout New Vegas and Skyrim. Those are my 2 favorite of each franchise. And I don't think, if you would ask me right now which would I rather play, I probably don't have an answer. They're probably equal in my eyes. Did I ever visit any places Fallout used in the games? Well, let's think about this. Have I been to Vegas? Yes. Have I actually walked the Vegas Strip? No, because I'm a buffoon. I went to Vegas multiple times to play in stupid Street Fighter tournaments like EVO, and I never left the hotel area to explore Vegas because I'm a complete dunce, and I so regret it now because I probably never will. Can you imagine being in a place that's known as a tourist destination around the world and being so stupid and tunnel vision about Street Fighter that you stayed in the fucking hotel and didn't go experience the cool stuff right around the corner? I'm such an asshole. And now I punch myself every day about that I didn't explore and have fun there, right? But in like Fallout 3, no, I've never been to like the DC area or anything like that. Fallout 4, well, I have been to Boston. I went to Boston, Massachusetts because I was actually scouting colleges at the time, and one of the places that offered me a partial scholarship was BU, Boston University. And so I spent a day in downtown Boston with my parents, and we actually rode the trolley, which was neat, to ride the trolley through town and do stuff like that. But I don't think, like, for example, it's Massachusetts in Fallout 4, but is it actually Boston? I don't know if it's actually Boston. I forget because I've only played it once. I guess we'll find out soon when we're going to start a playthrough again, right? So I might have been there, but I don't know exactly. Wait a minute. Yeah, BC, Boston College. Did I say BU? It's BC, Boston College was the one that I almost went to. Not Boston University. That was Boston College. That was the one that had a partial scholarship offered, but I didn't go. But anyway, so there's there. And then 76, the Appalachia area. No, I never been to the Appalachian Mountains or the Appalachia area, so that is a no. And I never played 1 and 2, so I don't know what locations those are. So out of all of them, the direct place, yes, I have 100% been to is Vegas, except I was so stupid I never actually walked the Strip and get those awesome memories. I mean, now that I know what's at the Strip, now that I know that there's a giant pyramid and a Sphinx and a thing that looks like, you know, the Space Needle and all these cool lights and food and attractions and everything, I really hate myself for being so ignorant in my 20s and how stupid I was that I didn't go experience it. And now, like I said, I know I'm never going to be there again in my life. Kat and I are never going to go to Vegas. So that's it. Done. My opportunity squandered. That's what happens in life. You only get one chance. You fuck it up. Well, you live with the repercussions. And now I punch myself every day for being a moron. Let's see. I received a $1.50 tip. Oh, so listen to this. Someone says, there's a service called NVIDIA GeForce Now. You can stream PC games to almost any device. It would be a way for you to play more PC games since your internet seems to handle PS Now well. Kind of the same idea, putting this out there. So what you're saying is you could stream PC games. Rather than needing an actual PC to run them, you could, like, stream them over like a cloud. Like cloud streaming. I wonder how well that would work. I mean, the PS Now was okay. Don't get me wrong. Like, I played, what was it, Infamous 2? It was all right, but you could see that definitely it was pixelated, and also there was some input delay. So, Jay says he went to Vegas and loved it. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad that you got to enjoy it, unlike me, the moron. So GeForce Now. I mean, if it gets better, maybe if the GeForce Now got better. Now, how would I use it? That's the question. Like, how would I use GeForce Now? How does it work? Is it just an app you run on your PC, in which case I probably couldn't do it? I don't think they would have that on a console, right? So I don't know how exactly I would do that. A. Schwab says it's probably the best game streaming service there is GeForce Now. Oh, yeah? What I think of starting Beyond Two Souls? No, we were not planning to do that right now. We already explained that. That's not in the cards for now. We're going to see if we can maybe make it happen in May, but we're not promising anything right now. Oh, really? Good Springs is real? Haseo says Good Springs, the starter town of New Vegas, is actually real, and he actually went there in real life. That's neat. Will I play Sekiro again? There is zero desire to see me play it again. Seriously. Like, no one has been asking me to play it. When I first beat it, I said I would do a New Game Plus run. No one was interested. And over the years, there just isn't interest. Why? I think I know why, because there's nothing new to come of it. Like, it's the same game. I couldn't do a different build than my first Sekiro run because it's the same sword and the same equipment. It's the same fucking thing. So all that can happen is you remember how to parry and you play it again. It's the same game, right? So different from other FromSoft games. I can't believe that they made that game so limited. When they're known for multiple runs, replayability, and variety, the fact that they literally got a game that doesn't really have that was kind of shocking, honestly. Oh, okay. Lady Charisma says you can use your mini PC with a controller and it would do it. Oh, okay. So use the mini PC and use the GeForce Now streaming service on there? That's interesting. Oh, yeah. Well, OnLive was like, Lilica says, I remember when you checked OnLive years ago. OnLive was a tiny little box like this, like a little device. That was the idea. It was cloud streaming. But the technology just wasn't there yet. Neither was the internet. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just couldn't handle it at all. We weren't to that point yet. Now, I did try PS Now about 2 years ago, and it did kind of work. I would think it's just, we can only go up from here, you know? So maybe we will work eventually. No, Sekiro never got any DLCs, right? It was just like, no story DLCs or anything like that, to my knowledge. Dark Magus says PC Game Pass Ultimate is another cloud gaming option. So there's, oh, that's true. I do have, duh. I have PC Game Pass Ultimate. I have it. Game Pass Ultimate includes PC Game Pass Ultimate. I didn't even think of that. So if that's cloud streaming, there you go. Thoughts on the 360 store closing in July? I mean, let's be honest. It's 2 console gens behind. It was inevitable it would happen. And at least, definitely in defense of Xbox, for posterity purposes, all those games are available on Xbox One and Xbox Series X and X. It's not like, oh, we're closing the store. You can no longer play or access those games ever again. They're accessible on their current consoles right now. So they're not erasing those games from history. They're just saying, hey, stop using 16, 17-year-old outdated hardware. Use our new hardware, right? Which kind of makes sense. So I have no problem with it at all in that regard. Oh, my goodness. So, by the way, if you haven't noticed, the sun has gone down now. So now the lighting here is perfect, as it's intended to be. The Blimp says, a little off topic, I rate you I rate you as a Call of Duty player. Legit, you play well. I rate your genres as 1 fighting games, 2 FromSoft games, 3 FPS. I've always surprised me how good you are. I don't know. Here's the thing. I know for a fact I'm much better today than I ever was. Like, I'm not kidding you when I say at Street Fighter 6, that's the best I've ever been at a modern fighter ever. Because Super Turbo, when I was good at it, was the mid-2000s. It was far past its prime by a good decade, you know? And that's when I was good at it, top placing in tournaments and winning tournaments. Most fighting games, when they were new, I would play them, I would like them, but I was never a top player in any new fighting game. I just didn't have the time or the means to play enough. You know, everyone else was traveling the country, flying all over the place, entering every tournament. I couldn't do that. I would enter like 2 tournaments in a year if I could attend or afford it. You know what I mean? I didn't have that flexibility like the top players at the time back then. So basically, listen, I think that now I am better because now I've focused in on Street Fighter 6, learned its systems, and tried to get as good as I can. But I think I'm kind of hitting my limits at this point for what I can do online play. Call of Duty, I don't know. Like, I used to play Call of Duty, like Modern Warfare 1 and 2, and I was darn good at them. I never really cared about competition or anything, but I was kicking butts. I was always at the top of the leaderboards, and it just so seems that every single year when I buy a Call of Duty, even though I swear I'm just playing it casually, I tend to be doing well and placing at the top of the leaderboards. Don't ask me why, it just kind of is. As for FromSoft games, that absolutely was something that was learned. You know how horrible I was at those games back in the day. Now, legit, I think I do decent. I don't think I'm great, but I think I do decent. Like, I was one of the few people when Elden Ring came out, when I fought that first Sentinel Knight at the very beginning, I said, nah, fuck it, I'm beating that guy. It took me about an hour, but I beat him early on. And a lot of people were like, whoa, everyone skips that guy. I was like, nah, fuck him. He's in my way. I'm kicking his ass. And I had that mentality for a lot of the playthrough until finally, I think it was the, what's his name? The, Cathedral Knight, was it? Whatever the Centurion dude is that flies and shit. He's at the jail, the optional jail. That was just so hard for early on. And I just gave up on it. And I was just like, you know, I can't put up with this. The guy whooped my ass for over 2 hours, and I just couldn't beat him. So after that, my mentality changed a little bit. But I do think that I'm better now. But again, that was something that was acquired over many, many years of practice and stuff like that. You know what I mean? That's not something that was overnight. I had natural skill or anything like that. But of course, thank you for making the observation, the blimp, because only people like you would ever say that. You know, everyone else just literally lies and says I'm terrible at every game. Even though there's ones I'm obviously good at, they just find ways to discredit. So thank you for at least giving me some credit there. RC Day, $5 tip. From an anonymous tipper. No one should have to deal with the crap you have to deal with online. It's ridiculous. You have to put up with this. At least it makes you a resilient person. And it is inspiring for me as a graduate student. If you ever need anything from a trusted fan, you can reach out to me. Well, there you go. Thank you so much for an anonymous $5 tip. I appreciate that. Cool. What is the hardest boss I fought in video game history? The hardest challenge ever is the final level of Ninja Gaiden 1. Because in Ninja Gaiden 1, the stage is the boss, and then there's a boss. Like, there is no checkpoints, and you have to beat 3 completely different stages, then get to the boss and beat the 2 forms of the boss, all in one fucking go, and you can't die. If you die, you start from the beginning. That is the hardest challenge I've ever encountered in any video game, by far. There's no way to cheat, there's no way around it, you just have to get good, and I've never beaten it. I got close. I got this close many, many years ago on YouTube. I got this close, and I couldn't do it. So Ninja Gaiden 1, final stage, is the hardest thing because the stage and the boss is the boss, and it's super duper tough. The Dark Anteri says, it's funny looking back at your Final Fantasy IX playthrough. You fought Ozma only once. Many consider him the toughest boss in Final Fantasy. I don't even remember that. Who's Ozma? Who's that? All right, Final Fantasy IX I remember somewhat, but not totally. And, yeah. I don't know. I don't remember that playthrough so well. Okay. Oh my god, Gotham City Imposters. Remember that game? Someone just mentioned it. Ozma is a glowing ball of energy. I don't remember that at all. I don't remember it. Final Fantasy IX, I only played the once. If you remember, my criticism of Final Fantasy IX is that the game is 99% linear, which I didn't really like. I like having the open world segments in Final Fantasy, so I was pretty disappointed. But, yeah, I don't remember this at all. What you're saying, Ozma, I just don't remember it. I can't comment on something I don't remember, right? All right. Well, as you guys know, I tend to like making hour-long videos, so let's split the part here, and then we'll continue. Thanks for chilling with me. Sorry about no Fightcade tonight. I'm just as disappointed as all of you. Let's talk more stuff out and have a good time tonight, all right? Cool.